guys, I've already applied my foundation. I've used new True Match Super Blend Makeup by L'Oreal in Alabaster C1 and CoverGirl in Classic Ivory. Using a compact angled brush, I'm now going to start doing the sculpting on my face. To do the shadowing, I'm actually using eyeshadows that I get individually from Sally Beauty Supply. This color is Eggplant. Put some on your brush and go ahead and start sculpting. You're going to want to put it under your cheekbone and then angle it downward and do all your shadowing underneath. Don't go above your cheekbone line or you're going to lose the actual sculpting. Don't forget to sculpt up under your jawline. Next, I'm using a round eyeshadow brush because Angelina's eye crease is higher than mine and closer to her brow line. So I'm going to start sculpting in the corners of my eyes on the inner side to start making it have a shadow appearance to make it look like the area is not only smaller but closer to my eyebrow itself. Drawing a line straight down to the tip of your nose, you're going to begin sculpting a shadow line on each side to make it more narrow. Connect it upward to that line and you'll get kind of a shadow effect all the way up to your brow. Don't forget to sculpt up under your nose to get that nice little kind of button look that Angelina has, as her nose is fairly turned up compared to mine and really tiny and sculpted. This just really helps to give that illusion that I have a much thinner nose and a much pointier nose. She naturally has a higher crease that I just don't have up there, so I'm going to go ahead and create it artificially. Starting from the outer corner, I'm working my way connecting to the shadow I created inside. I'm going to create a solid line that I blend upwards. You're going to want to keep it heavier and darker towards your actual crease because that's creating that actual crease line, so you don't want to lose that edge. Then using a blender brush, just soften that outer edge. Now I'm using a foundation brush and actually putting powder all over it to not only set it in place, but to also soften it all over. Now take a white or at least a really light eyeshadow and put it all over that lid and then continue it on your inner corner and underneath your eye. Using the Knock On Wood 383B set from Wet n Wild, I'm actually going to use the bottom color to kind of angle out the outside edge of the eye to make it wider at the corner and then thinner towards the center of the eye. Here I'm just cleaning up with more white to make sure that there's no fallout from the red I just applied on the edge. Next, I'm adding highlight under the brow bone to make more of a dramatic arch like Angelina's. I'm also highlighting down my nose to make that area stand out more. Then I'm just blending. Next, take e.l.f. liquid liner in black, and this is just the e.l.f. concealer brush. Angelina's famous for her winged out halfway cat's eye, so I'm going to use this to create that kind of softer line. I'm going to start from the middle point and work my way to the outer corner, making it thicker, and then I'm going to just give it a very thin wing outwards. Work slowly and make sure that this is precise so you don't get too thick of a line, or it's going to make your eye go in a direction that you're not really wanting it to, and the whole point is to kind of make it look more elongated and also angled upwards if yours doesn't already. Next, I'm using a set of thinner lashes that I just got at the drugstore, and I'm actually cutting them in half, so it's just a smaller section for that outside edge. You just kind of want it to wing out. Press your lashes for 4 to 5 seconds to make sure that they curl, and then apply them just to the outside, kind of angling upward. Going back to the black liner, I'm going to line my waterline on the top lid from the center point to your inner corner and kind of down into your tear duct. Then I'm going to line the bottom waterline from the outer corner halfway in. I'm then taking an eyebrow pencil in the color taupe and I'm going to line the entire waterline so that it feathers into the line that I've already created with the gel liner. Next, I'm just touching up over the glue that's already dried from the lashes. This is kind of a look of how it is so far. Next, I'm taking a really pink shadow and just kind of buffing it over my cheeks and along the ridge of my nose and around the edge of my hairline just to kind of blend in all that shadowing. It's a little extreme looking, but it's effective in photos. Next, I'm just going over it with my large brush to kind of feather it all out with a little bit of powder. I'm shadowing under my actual lips to kind of give it more of a puffed look, ultimately when the lips are completed to have that shadowed effect. Add a layer of mascara, but nothing too severe. More of a lengthening one than a thickening one would work really well. I'm going to add it to my bottom lashes, but my bottom lashes are really long, so after I add it, I kind of pull off back half of it. Next, I'm taking all the cover up that's been kind of sticking to my lips throughout the process. Then I'm taking an e.l.f. concealer stick, and I'm actually just putting it all over my lips and just rubbing it to get a nice kind of duller base to it. And then I'm going to take my sculpted angling brush, and I'm going to use the same palette that I used for my eyebrows, and I'm going to use the top shade and the bottom shade below it. I'm extending my lips in the corners because I don't have lips as wide as Angelina, and it kind of loses the effect if you don't have it. So kind of joker your lips a little bit. It may look a little crazy for a second, but I promise it's effective. Take that edge and go back over it with an eyebrow pencil in kind of a brown shade, just to set that edge a little bit better. Connect the lines up to the top, creating a sweetheart shape. Next, I'm going back in with the powder and I'm creating the crease that she has in her bottom lip to kind of give that fullness. And I did a straight line below it in the eyebrow pencil to add more of that shadow. Next, I'm just kind of lining out the bottom and just kind of adding detailing and shadowing where it's going to make it look more fuller if you add it towards the corners and along the bottom edge. You don't want to really do it towards the middle because that kind of loses the whole fluffy look. Next, I'm just taking a brighter lipstick that I have and just tapping it over to add a little bit of color in because next I'm going in with a concealer and I'm taking a little brush and just kind of highlighting the areas where light would naturally hit something if it was kind of puffier the way her lips are. This is kind of at your discretion. It's easiest to kind of look at a photo of her to kind of see where her highlights hit, but it's really going to be whatever works best for your face. Just keep blending and making sure that you feather out any of the edges of the pencils and things that you use, and if need be, go back in and kind of darken it. You'll see that I go in also with more of a pink pencil too to kind of keep more of a natural tone, and I sit here and it kind of takes a while to get the proper effect that you're looking for, but just keep adding and taking away whatever you need to until you're pretty much happy with it. This is kind of the final look, and I know it looks a little crazy how I'm looking up. I'm trying to get all the light to hit my face. There's my Angelina improving moment. Thanks, guys, for watching.